Hey everybody, I'm Tag.
And I'm B.
Hey, and this is Life Done Free. Hey, today we have an amazing guest. We have Nancy from the Buffalo Seed Company, and B and Nancy are going to have a conversation about harvesting tomato seeds. It's interesting to me, all of the wonderful things that went into producing this video. I watched it, prior to filming this intro, and just a great learning experience. But guys, let me tell you a little bit about Buffalo Seed Company. We've been involved in their program. What I love about the Buffalo Seed Company is they're growing seeds that are adapted specifically to my region or your region. And, this year it was hot, right?
Very.
We put them out there. We watered a couple times, but really didn't water them a lot. Even through all of this, they grew to be, a lot of them, taller than I am, and I'm a big guy, right?
Yeah.
And they just absolutely did wonderful. The fruit produced has been wonderful. We are still just harvesting like mad. I know we're a long ways from done. So being drought resistant, being grown for my specific reason, and guys, this is important in being free. It's important that I'm not dependent upon Walmart or Lowe's or Tractor Supply or wherever you buy your seeds from. I get to buy them from the source. I get a superior product, and then I get to harvest my own the rest of the way. I become a tiny bit freer. And this is super exciting to me. So we're going to get on to the video, but anything you want to add before I get on to the video?
No.
Okay. Well, guys, so today we present the Buffalo Seed Company and harvesting seeds.
Okay. Hello. I am so excited today. I'm B, the Life Done Free. And today we have Nancy Cost with us from the Buffalo Seed Company. She is going to quickly show us how to save seeds for tomato harvest, and then we can use them again for next year. So Nancy, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself real quick?
Sure. My name is Nancy Cost, and I'm originally from Bolivia. And and then I study agronomy in Costa Rica and study horticulture and crop science and focusing on tomato breeding at the Ohio State University, where I met my husband. And basically 11 years ago, we've been in this journey of saving seeds, and we start actually with tomatoes. I was working on the tomato lab, and I was doing this processing of the seeds, and eventually we started making our own collection, and every year started growing. And 4 years ago we opened up the Buffalo Seed Company, but we've been saving seeds since 2011. We still have all these original seeds. It's hard to get rid of them, They're babies.
That's wonderful. So now you have a master's degree, right? What is your master's degree in?
Horticulture and crop science, in the Department of Horticulture and Crop Science. But my project was on breeding, selection and breeding of rootstocks for grafting tomatoes.
For grafting? Is that what you said?
Yep, grafting tomatoes.
Oh, perfect. Which is exactly what we're talking about today.
Right. Yeah, tomatoes. It was I did more. Back then I was using wild species of tomatoes to cross with cultivated material that had resistance to different disease. So we can create these hybrid rootstocks, but we were not selecting for the fruits. We were selecting just for the roots. So then when the tomatoes are probably 1 month old, you graft them on those rootstocks, and then you can put any heirloom tomato that doesn't have the resistance.
Wow.
And I mean, we did a lot of trials, there's been a lot of trials in North Carolina, Florida, the Ohio State, of course. I can't remember, there was another university. It was a big collaboration about the production for small farmers in the organic setting,
Yes, wonderful. So do you still practice the grafting tomatoes now, or do you have the seeds the way that you want them to grow?
No, I don't do grafting right now, but I am thinking in the future to add, probably we will be creating some like rootstock seeds, probably. We will be working that is on the future to add back that, because it's really cool to work with wild tomatoes because the fruits are green, you know.
Oh, wow.
It can get like up to very tall. I had in the greenhouse, you kind of have to have a facility where you can set up. And like I had, for example, 10 different cultivated varieties that we selected based on how many resistance they had to different diseases. And then we added more of the wild species. So I did like, it was massive. You could just see like, it used to be like a tree on the greenhouse and collect pollen from them. They were like exclusively just to collect pollen from them.
Wow.
If you try to do because the fruits like maximum can get this size, little like tiny bit. So you're not gonna get that many seeds. But for example, like in a cultivated like this size, you can put the pollen from the wild, you're gonna have more seeds. But sometimes I was able to see like certain varieties, even though all they were cultivated, the mothers won't produce seeds, or they will produce seeds, but they were not viable. With different, it like depends on the wild species of tomatoes, because they're like, I don't know how many, but I used 4 different ones. They're like way separated from the tomatoes, because like there is one of the wild one that's very close to cultivated tomatoes are the Pimpinifolium, which is little red one, very tiny one. But then like there goes the Havrechates, I can't remember the other one, but those ones are like way like separated. And so sometimes like it's kind of hard to make crosses.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so that's why you went through the whole program to learn how to do this, right?
Well, yeah, that was my project. And then like, all the classes that you have to take, and like, it's a lot of, you got to learn with like incompatibility, for example. Like then after that, it was like, okay, after we did the growing of the seeds, and then you do the testing of the seeds, how many of them they can pass, and then you do the next one is like, okay, how many of them are gonna be robust plants, for example, in the greenhouse. You got to see like if all of them germinated, because like it's for growers, and then you want them to have like uniformity. It's just when you set up, like when you're at a farmer's market, you want to have everything to grow at the same time. So that was kind of like,
yeah. And that makes sense. And so a lot of times when you're starting and you have these seeds, you don't think about what happens later. You have these seeds, you put them in the ground. Some of them don't germinate, like you said, some of them do. And then, so having a plan is great, because then, like you say, if they're harvesting at the same time, then you can use them to do something with them. What do you do with all of your tomatoes that you grow other than save seeds? Do you process them or just eat fresh?
I mean, like half of them, like especially the cherry ones, just eat it. I cut it in half, I squeeze it, the seeds goes to my mouth. And then like with this size of tomatoes, like the big ones, first off, I will clean it off and try to have like all clean tomatoes. And then I will cut it off, take the seeds, and we'll process, like make salsas, froze them. The idea is, like not to waste much.
Right.
Every piece of it.
Yes. So, okay, let's go ahead and get into the seed saving, and then I'll have a couple of questions during or probably after. That way I don't want to interrupt you while you're doing your.
Oh, that's fine. So over here I have like different varieties of tomatoes. Like this one is called like the flower top. It looks like a little flower on the top. It's one of my favorites because when it hangs on the plant, it looks like a little pumpkins. It's really beautiful. It's a slicer. And then over here I have the San Marzanos. They look like a lot of like aromas, but they are a little bit smaller. And then sometimes they have they have different shapes. Like this one kind of looks like little pear. This one not too much pear. So this is like a processing. And then I have here a couple cherries. This is white cherry. This is this year we're growing the first year, this one. It's called white cherry. It's beautiful. And it's, I think this is great. It's gonna be great for the farmers who are selling in the farmers market, because it can store for a long time. I have like
They look like
a whole-
grapes.
yeah, they look like grapes, and they're delicious. And now this one is a new selection we're doing. Last year we found in one population, and we kind of like keep it. And this year we planted again, and we saw again this one. It's delicious. So we're not gonna be offering seeds for these ones, but for next year we're gonna because this year we're collecting a lot of seeds. So next year we're gonna have probably a whole road of these ones, and hopefully they can do great, and we have seeds.
Okay.
So you can start with like I like for home saving, it's good like have some like you can use plastic. This is plastic, or like glass.
Okay.
So the idea is like you just cut it in half, the tomato, and there is the seeds. And then the seeds have like kind of like around each seed, it has like kind of little gelatin.
Yes.
So that is where the fermentation process goes. So you just take it out all the seeds with the help of a knife. And then I really like to try the tomato. This is a good one.
Sometimes the tomato is not good even if it looks good.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. And I myself, ever since I started working with tomatoes, I always try it. Like I think every tomato piece. So that's what basically you have the juice. Now, once you have this juice, you leave it like for 3-4 days. Now you can leave it outside, which will take faster. Like probably in 2 days will be ready. And then like I have here, like this one was processed 2 days ago. And on the top is gonna have like this little, I don't know, you can see like a little white fungus, like kind of like a little white, a little fine. And then also the smell is kind of yeast smell.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you put the lid on that, you leave the lid on, is that okay?
Yeah. I like to leave it because, well, you can leave it open, but I like to put it close. One of the reasons, something can happen, you never know.
Yes.
And that has happened to me that before. I don't know what I was moving. I had the set up all the thing, and then something happened and it fall down, and I got mixed, I think 5 varieties. And then it like, especially when you are saving seeds and you want to know exactly what is for next year, you don't want that to happen.
Correct.
So
yes. Okay.
like a whole 5 containers.
Okay.
So that's the reason why I close it. And I did open every day to let it out the air. And then like there is like, I'll put it here, the camera, kind of like see like the little fermentation that it's going on. And then like also you can see like on the bottom, once like the seeds start getting down on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
that's when, you know, like they're ready to rinse. And I like the label is very important too. Because sometimes like we tend, like, I know I can tell you like between cherry tomato seeds and like slicer seeds. The slicer seeds are a little bit bigger. For example, this one is bigger than this other one. But when you are not very familiar, you sometimes you say like, oh, I'm gonna remember. I have a good memory. But sometimes you can forget, right?
Yes.
So this is the same thing with all of them. And now like one thing, when you are saving seeds from tomatoes, you should at least try to save from 5 different or 10 different plants, even though the tomatoes are very selfing, like, which means they self-pollinate each other by themselves. But you need to check, you got to make sure you have enough seeds for next year, right? Now, like I'm going to show you with this one had a good amount of seeds. But now this one, trying to clean my knife so I don't contaminate it. But so like this one is the white cherry. And sometimes certain tomatoes don't have much seeds, like this one, for example. Can you see it?
Yes.
There is not that many seeds on this one. It's delicious though. But like this other one, look at the amount of seeds there is.
Oh, more.
Yeah. So like, for example, like this one doesn't have that many seeds, the yellow one. And so that's, I think, like sometimes like probably on this orange, probably you can get out of like 10 tomato seeds, enough seeds, you know, if you're saving for yourself. But with this one, probably you're gonna need more. And so that's just make sure you have enough amount of seeds. So that,
When you squeeze the seeds into the cup, you just leave it right there in the juice. You don't have to rinse it. You don't have to wash them. You leave it in the container with the juice to ferment for several days.
yeah, like if you are living inside like room temperature, like we're saying like 75, leave it 3-4 days. You can have
Okay.
this.
Okay.
But if you put it outside, like when it's hot, like, but don't try to put it like under direct sun. Put it like on a somewhere. 2-3 days is gonna be ready.
Okay.
So you're gonna be seeing the little white, and then the seeds are gonna be going down.
Okay.
And then you're gonna check it out. And the tomatoes, the seeds, they are not longer surrounded by the yellow
jelly.
Yeah, this trying to check. Yeah, this one is white cherry. Yep, this is blueberry. This is another variety. So once you have that ready, this one is ready to be rinsed. I'm trying to make sure, yep, it is ready to be rinsed. So then you're gonna need.
So right there, were you just looking at the seed to make sure that the jelly has come off of the seed?
Yes. You make sure like when you touch the seed, it's there's no more gelatin.
Okay.
So the took care of that. And then we use this, what's this thing called?
Strainer?
Strainer. There you go, you see? So any strainer that you have and a good faucet of water. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna move this thing over here, and I'm gonna try to do it down here so that you can give me the hose. So what we turn it on the water. We turn on the water, and we have. So this one's gonna be fun. Okay, it's on. So I'm trying to figure it out where I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it down this one here. Sure, you can eat that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can eat the whole thing. Oh, she's a tomato eater, like her mother. So we have here like and then just dump it out the seeds and rinse it up a little bit. This one, I'll put here the camera right here. So you see the tomato seeds?
Yes.
And then you just rinse it off with the water. And you can see like all the seeds are clean. You just clean it nicely, and there you go. There's the seeds.
That's it?
That's it. And then now that we go to the next step is to dry it out.
Okay.
Once you have the seeds, I use paper towel.
Yes.
I'm trying to put it the right so I just put it on a paper towel, get it out, let it make sure it's all the water out. And usually I just knock it down, and there you go. And then you just spread it around it and put the label on there. Or sometimes I write it on the paper towel because, again, double securing the name, it's in there, you know.
Yeah.
And
That
then
makes sense.
and that's it. Like you just leave it. Now you leave it for another 5 days, 5 to 6 days, and then you put it in a container and you have your seeds for next year.
That is like, that's it. That is
That's
so simple.
It is very simple. I mean, it's not complicated at all. We just like as a society, we just forgot. I mean, like our ancestors did this all the time, you know,
Yeah.
and
Wow.
somehow off of our memory. But that's it. You see, it doesn't even take much longer. I mean, like it takes probably 5 minutes to, and then the dry takes a little bit longer. And again, like if you put it like under porch for like where the wind is a little bit blowing, but you don't want to blow it away, right? Don't.
So
And
this process right here, the drying part, you just want the seeds to just be completely dry
yeah,
before you
completely.
package it. And when you package them, can you put them in a Ziploc baggie, or does it have to be paper, or what do you suggest putting the seeds in?
You can put it on a bag, like you said, like a coin envelope.
Like a
And
paper envelope?
yeah, coin
Or
envelope.
use plastic?
Or you can use plastic. You
Okay.
can use like containers, like from glasses, like for example, the best one is glass because it the change of temperature.
Oh,
So even though if you keep it like underneath, it's not gonna be so dramatic. But if you are taking it out and bringing, like if on springtime you're taking it out and then bring it back, but if you keep it like on a glass, is the best one.
okay.
And always have glass, like what is this, mason jars,
Mason jars, yes.
or like anything like some species that came, like some spices that come on little glasses. I like those ones.
Yeah, to repurpose a jar.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so wonderful. Thank you. When you take the seeds out, you had the raw tomato that you cut and squeezed the seeds out. When we go to make salsa or sauces, you know how we blanch the tomatoes?
Uh-huh.
You like dip it in hot water and then the skin just comes right off.
Right.
If we blanched the tomatoes first, could we still harvest the seeds, or would the blanching process make them?
I think it will cook the seeds.
Okay.
If the seed, the temperature gets to a certain amount, I don't remember, but I mean, like that's like basically kind of killing the embryo.
Okay.
So yeah, I think like you're safer to do it with raw tomatoes
Okay.
and with blanching, because that will probably we get certain seeds that are gonna be able to survive, but not 100%.
Right. It would be best to not do that then. Okay. That makes sense. And what is the best way to store the tomatoes after you pick them? What is the best way to store them? In the refrigerator or on the counter or a basement, or what do you suggest?
I'm trying to think, like this one, for example, we harvested 2 weeks ago. This is San Marzano,
Oh, wow.
which is on the top of the counter. And the same thing with these ones. And there was one we have, like this one was stored, that was harvested 3 weeks ago. And they are just on the top of the counter.
So you harvested those tomatoes 3 weeks ago and they've been sitting on your counter.
Done. Sorry, I have this. Enough, Silveria, please. Yes, they've been storing, like, and that's one of the things, like I think like over the years we've been kind of like selecting on that too, and the varieties that didn't like kind of went through for long storage just in the normal condition, we've been dropping off. We drop off a couple of varieties due to lack of life storage on the counter.
The storage length.
Yeah. So we tried to kind of like go selecting on that, and whatever we like the blueberry cream doesn't store that well, this one. But it's super delicious for snack on the garden. So
Yes, that makes sense. Now, when I had spoke with you a day or so ago, and you had told me that the rain was coming, what was it? You want to talk a little bit about harvesting and why you do that before a rain comes, or what is the purpose of harvesting before your rain comes?
Well, like with the rain, usually, like, I mean, that's just like the tomatoes, you know, right now we have like 7 days no rain. So kind of like the skin is kind of like dehydrated. So when the rain comes, what it happens, like the tomato plant gets so much water and it just bursts out all the fruits. And then like the green ones are not gonna, some of them they will, but the ones who are ripened or close to be ripened, they're more likely to just crack, basically.
So they split open.
Yeah, they split open. So
Even the green ones?
no, the green ones, because they still have some cells there like elongating, that won't happen. But the ones who were close to get red or like oranges, they will.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not, I've never known that before. So that was a fantastic tip, because we are expecting rain this weekend. So I'm glad that you had mentioned that beforehand, because that was not something that I knew. Well, and the harvesting the seeds, this is unbelievably easy that you just showed us.
I know it is very simple. Now, like when you are doing, like, for example, when we were doing at the university, it was used, what was it, chloric acid, some type of acid, which speeds up faster, you know, but you have to have like a special room to get all the gases out.
Yes.
And then you can have seeds, like put it acid there, like cut it off, take it out the pulp, and then put it acid with a little bit of water, wait for 10 minutes, and then rinse it off.
Oh, it's done. It's like instant.
Yeah, it's instant. Like in less than 15 minutes, you can have the seeds, and then you have a little oven where you can cook the seeds.
Yes.
Like to dry it out faster.
Yeah.
Don't turn it off. No, because you're gonna ruin my cell phone. Silveria, don't. Okay, thank you.
Gotta love them.
Right.
Okay, one other question I had for you was when planting tomatoes, do you put anything in your tomatoes? Some people on the internet are doing Epsom salt with their tomatoes, and some people are doing Tums, like medicine Tums, with their tomatoes, and some people I've heard are putting eggshells with their tomatoes. Do you suggest or recommend just off the bat to stick something with the tomatoes, or companion planting or anything? Or are you more of put them in the ground and let's wait and see what happens before we start changing things around?
Well, yeah, I've heard all those. I think I used in the past eggshells, because I don't think I can eat enough eggshells to put it on all the 200 tomato plants, you know. But they work, you know. Like now, Epsom salt I never used, but I do remember my father-in-law having a good tomato plants with Epsom salt, and that's what his mom used to do. So I mean, I never did personally.
Okay.
What is, we use chicken manure. So we just plant our tomato plants and then we fertilize them like twice, because a tomato is a good, they like to eat. They're like good eaters. So we usually fertilize twice, and we use mulch. So that way we don't do irrigation. So we put it like 3 inches tall with the mulch, and that kind of like keeps the weeds down, and then also keeps the moisture when we in like in Kansas. We don't have rain.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you put the chicken manure on, how do you do that? Do you just put it around the plant or down the rows or directly at the base or?
It's like right on the base. Just like put it like probably a half cup each time. Just put it like, because this is like this chicken manure that has some potassium, like I'm trying to think, like it's a very good, it's not hot, like in order, it's not gonna burn the plant.
Okay.
So just put it like a half cup on each plant and just.
And you're talking about dry, not
dry.
heat. Okay.
No. Yep. But like composted already, you know, because if you press chicken manure, then that'll be a problem.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. In terms of companion plants, I like to put basil. I really love basil close to my tomato plants.
Okay.
One, like when you are harvesting, there is less mosquitoes because the mosquitoes don't like basil. Or the same thing with marigolds. Marigolds or basil are really good. And then somehow it helps also to protect, like, you know, with some pests. Yeah, that's basically, I like basil on my tomatoes. Like whenever I put the tomatoes, I would just sprinkle, or I would transplant some basil. I will sprinkle basil seeds.
Wonderful. Good to, that way everybody knows that those will go together and they don't have to think twice about it. They just know.
Yeah, tomato and basil together, and also you can eat them together too.
I agree, with a little mozzarella.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I think that was all of my questions. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add?
I mean, like, no, really. I told you, like, it's very easy.
I can't believe how easy it seems. This is amazing. And I'm going to go, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go and harvest some tomato seeds.
I mean, like, it's really simple and easy now. Like when you are like, I mean, like as we are getting scale, like we have to process sometimes like 50, 100 pounds of tomato seeds.
Yeah.
You are doing for yourself at home. It's really simple and anybody can do it, you know?
Wonderful. Thank you for your time, Nancy.
Oh, thank you, Beam.
And I look forward to our, go ahead.
I gotta eat all these tomatoes.
Well, and I look forward to seeing you. You'll be here in just a few days, right?
Yes. We're planning, like, how is this day coming up, the tomatoes?
Yes, I will actually, I have pictures to send to you. But our video is getting ready to end. So we have a time limit.
That's great. Awesome. I gotta go do harvesting. Nice to talk with you. You have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Freedom Friends. Thank you for watching my video today with Nancy. I had such a great time. I have become really good friends with her, and she's such a great mentor. You know, trying to live free is a lot of work. And at the Buffalo Seed Company, you know, they're really trying to help us do that. They are growing seeds to be drought and pest and disease resistant, which, come in so handy when you're living off grid and there's lots to do. So trying to be freer is the goal. And the Buffalo Seed Company is absolutely helping us do that. If you haven't been there to check out their website, I encourage you to do so. Have a wonderful day.